Coming up on today's San Francisco 49ers report, I'm going to explain why Christian McCaffrey is the most valuable player on the San Francisco 49ers offense heading into 2023. The numbers from last year certainly back that up, but embrace debate here. We want to hear from you down in the comment section because we're all about hearing from the faithful right here on the 49ers report, the home for the faithful and year-round content on the Niners. Who is the MVP on this Niners offense going into this year? Once again, let me pose that question here, Trace. Who is the MVP on this Niners offense going into 2023? Is it Christian McCaffrey or is it a different player? Maybe I'll change your opinion after the show wraps up. Stay tuned, kick it here with us. So obviously, you look at the numbers for McCaffrey, and prior to getting traded to San Francisco from the Carolina Panthers, a two-time All-Pro, first-team All-Pro 1 year, second-team All-Pro another, but the 2 years after being an All-Pro selection, didn't play a lot of football. Basically combined full season over those previous 2 years prior to 2022. After the trade from Carolina to San Francisco, though, he solidified himself as one of the most dynamic and best playmakers in the NFL. The numbers really are ludicrous with what he was able to do last year and the profound impact he had on this Niners offense. He ran it in 11 games, 159 times for 746 yards. That was good for nearly 5 yards per carry. He had 6 touchdowns on the ground and a long of 38. His receiving numbers, and this goes to show you the versatility that he brings to the field in between the lines, 52 catches, 464 yards, almost 9 yards per catch, 4 touchdowns through the air alone, and another long of 38. So in 11 games, Christian McCaffrey had more than 1,000 all-purpose yards. And if you remember his first start against the Los Angeles Rams, that was when the Niners started to find their groove a little bit. Starting then, after that abysmal loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, they didn't lose again until the NFC Championship game. He got the Niners going by throwing a touchdown pass. McCaffrey's impact, it goes well beyond the numbers. Him solely being on the football field opens up opportunities for everybody else, and him being on the field causes the defense to have to account for him on every single snap because you never know where he's going to line up and where he can hit a home run from. Why McCaffrey is so unique. As a running back, he can run in between the tackles, but he also has that speed to get out to the perimeter as well. So you can run some of that read option, power option to the outside. You can have some of those blockers swing out and open up some space for him to get out to that perimeter. But I think what's underrated about McCaffrey, it's the physicality in which he runs with, backed up by some of those in-depth numbers that we'll talk about here in just a few moments. He's physical, but has finesse to his game. His footwork, if you're a young guy, high school, middle school, you're looking for a way to make a lot of money at the NFL level, if that's your dream, that's your aspiration to make it there, and you're a running back, diversify your craft a little bit and watch Christian McCaffrey. If you want to make money and have a long career playing in the NFL as a running back, become a receiving threat as well. Because Christian McCaffrey's been able to do just that. Great route runner. The 49ers quarterback, whoever it is, they can hit him on a check down, screen pass. He can line up in the slot. Shoot, he lined up out wide at moments, which spreads everything out for the weaponry outside of McCaffrey within this Niners offense. What's crazy, too, in his 11 games played for San Francisco, he accounted for a third of the Niners' touchdowns last year. And he is a versatile home run threat who can gash you from anywhere on the football field. When the Niners traded for McCaffrey, if you remember last year in 2022, they were a sluggish offense. They were struggling to put points on the board consistently. After the McCaffrey trade, though, they averaged more than 30 points per game. Here are the point totals by game for the Niners after that McCaffrey trade. And I'm going to include the playoffs in here as well. On the road against the Rams, they dropped 31 points. Against the Chargers, 22. Against the Cardinals in Mexico City, that game was a whole hell of a lot of fun. 38 points. They struggled a little bit against the Saints, but they did pitch a shutout, 13 points. Against the high-powered Dolphins offensive attack, San Francisco, as Brock Purdy replaced Jimmy Garoppolo in that game, able to put 33 points on the scoreboard. Against Tom Brady and the Bucs, Tampa Bay was bad. That Niners defense, elite, 35 points. On the road against the Seahawks as the Niners clinched the division, 21 points. Against the Commanders, San Francisco lighting up the scoreboard with 37. On the road against the Raiders, New Year's Day. That watch party was a lot of fun. The real ones know. 37 points. Against the Cardinals at home, 38. And then in the NFL playoffs, 41 points against Seattle after a little bit of a monotonous start. Against the Cowboys, 19, but that defense very, very solid. And then Christian McCaffrey had to play wildcat quarterback against the Eagles in the NFC Championship game. They only mustered 7 points. But the impact of McCaffrey was certainly felt. It was certainly seen. In-depth numbers for McCaffrey last year. This is impressive, and the ball security pretty damn good, although he did fumble a couple of times that was not recovered by the opposition. 244 carries, only one fumble. He forced defenders to miss on their tackles 36 times. Yards after contact. This goes back to that point that I teased a little bit earlier about McCaffrey being able to pick up yards after contact and being physical, but also having the finesse element to his game. 2.9 yards after contact. And runs of 10 plus last year, 28. So if you think Christian McCaffrey is elite, and I think he's one of the more elite players in this league, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. And if you like our content, if you think we can improve our content, let me know on social media. You can let us know in the comment section. I do a good job of responding to a lot of comments from time to time, but also you can find me on social media. Twitter, Instagram, it's the same handle on both, at Chase_Senior. Let's start to take some questions from the audience here. Lore, how should the Niners sign Yannick Ngakoue? How should they? They should just go out and make the move, Lore. Just go out and sign him. This is a guy who, since entering the league, has had at least 8 sacks every single season that he's been in the NFL. He's a very good edge rusher who I think could really help out Nick Bosa on the other side of that line of scrimmage. Evan Hinders, hey Chase, hope you're having a great day. Appreciate it, brother. You deserve it. It should the 49ers call Sue because Kinlaw not working out. So Kinlaw's been injured far too often, and Ndamukong Suh would be very, very interesting. He has said, I'm not going to play in the preseason. I'm not going to go through training camp. My body's too old for that. I've been in the NFL way too long. He did say, though, he'd be ready for week 1. So if there's an injury at defensive tackle for the Niners, I'd be intrigued by Suh. I thought he played well for Philadelphia and played meaningful snaps for a team that made it to the Super Bowl last year. Antonio Hughes, any possibility that the Niners upper management part ways with Shanahan after this season if we don't win the Super Bowl? I really don't understand the Kyle Shanahan hate among this fan base and among some media members. Kyle Shanahan, you have to put this into context. He took over after the disastrous tenures from Jim Tomsula, Chip Kelly. Kyle Shanahan then had to tear down the Niners and rebuild them. He was hired in 2017. Rebuilding effort didn't take long. Took the Niners to the Super Bowl in 2019. Did they lose that lead in the Super Bowl to the Chiefs? Yes. Does Kyle Shanahan have a track record of some bad losses? No doubt about that. But he still made it to the Super Bowl a couple of years after a full rebuild. And now, over the last 4 years, the Niners have made it to the NFC Championship game 3 times in 4 years. They've made it to the NFC title game twice in a row, with a Super Bowl appearance sprinkled in to those last 4 years. He's one of the best, most creative offensive play designers and play callers in the NFL, and I think he's an elite head coach in this league. So if you don't win the Super Bowl this year, does the pressure get ratcheted up? Yes. But tell me a better option out there that could replace Shanahan. I don't think there are many, especially in an offensive era right now, and that's his forte. Past. Just wanted to stop by and say keep up the great work, brother. Real one. Past. Salute to you. Salute to everybody else who tunes into the San Francisco 49ers Report. We certainly appreciate all of your support. And the good news is we're going to continue to keep it moving right here on the show.